Okay, let's talk about something we all do every single day. Drinking water. But what if I told you that the simple act of drinking a glass of water, if you do it the right way, could be one of the most powerful things you do to protect yourself from disease? Yeah, it's not about drinking more water. It's about drinking it right. Let's break down how. Wow, that's a pretty bold statement, right? Drink it wrong, you get sick. Drink it right, sickness disappears. It sounds so dramatic, but you know what? The science really backs this up. It seems the way we hydrate every day is either actively building up our health or it's quietly breaking it down. There's really no middle ground. And this is where it gets, well, a little scary. Think about some of the biggest health issues we face today: cancer, diabetes, heart disease, even things like chronic fatigue and obesity. Doctors are finding this common thread, this single starting point that could link them all, and it's something as simple as just not having enough water in our systems day in and day out. So let's dive into that. The danger of dehydration. I mean, the big question is, are you running on empty? The scary part is, so many of us are, and we don't even have a clue. And here's the wild part. It doesn't take much. We're not talking about a 20% drop or even 10%. A tiny 2% drop in your body's water level is enough to start throwing a wrench in everything. Why? Well, think about it. Every single process in your body, from having a thought to digesting your food, happens in water. So when that water level dips even slightly, everything just slows down. That is an incredibly small margin for error. This really puts it all into perspective. As newborns, we're basically little water balloons, right? Almost 90% water. But look what happens. As adults, that drops to 70%. And by the time we're over 50, it can be as low as 50%. Our body's natural reserves are literally dwindling as we age. And that means we have to be so much more intentional about refilling the tank. So, just take a look at these symptoms. Do any of them ring a bell? That constant tired feeling, especially in the morning? Feeling a little dizzy or lightheaded sometimes? Trouble focusing at work? Maybe that's stubborn weight that just won't seem to budge. We're so quick to blame stress or a bad night's sleep. But what if it's simpler than that? What if it's just your body screaming for water? Okay, now for a huge misconception, let's get into what you might be drinking wrong. So many of us think, oh, I drink plenty of fluids all day. But here's the kicker. Not all liquids actually hydrate. In fact, some do the complete opposite. And the numbers? They don't lie. Look at this gap. The World Health Organization recommends 2 liters a day. But the average man and woman? We're barely drinking half of that. We are basically living in a state of collective dehydration. So this is absolutely crucial to understand. Pure water is exactly what your body needs. It can use it instantly. But drinks with caffeine, like coffee and tea, they are different. They act as diuretics, which is really just a fancy way of saying they make your body get rid of more water than you're taking in. They're basically hydration thieves. This chart breaks it down perfectly. For every single cup of coffee you drink, you need to drink 2 extra cups of plain water just to get back to even. For tea, it's a cup and a half. So if you're starting your day with coffee, you're actually starting your day in a hydration deficit from the get-go. But what about sports drinks, or juices, or sodas, you might ask? Well, because of all the sugar in them, your digestive system literally sees them as food, not water. That means they have to be digested, they don't get absorbed efficiently, and they can even mask your body's natural thirst signals. All right, enough about the problem, let's get to the solutions. Let's talk about the actual rules of hydration and how you can figure out your own personal water formula. You can forget that generic 8 glasses a day rule. Here is a super simple, personalized formula. Just take your height in centimeters, add your weight in kilograms, and then divide that number by 100. That's it. That gives you a much more accurate target for your daily water intake, in liters. Now, this part is key. It's not just how much you drink, it's how you drink it. Chugging your entire day's worth of water in 1 or 2 sittings is not effective, and it can actually be dangerous. The goal is to divide your total into 8 to 10 smaller glasses and just sip them consistently throughout the entire day. Okay, I know what some of you are thinking, but I just can't stand the taste of plain water. It's boring. And you know what? That's a really common objection. A lot of people feel that way. But luckily, there is a healthy and tasty alternative. You can try making some gentle herbal infusions. If you're the type of person who tends to feel cold, a light infusion with cinnamon or ginger can be really warming. If you're someone who runs hot, something cooling like barley or cassia seed is a better bet. And for sugar cravings, mulberry leaf can be great. But the single most important rule is right there on the screen. Do not add any sugar or honey. That would completely defeat the purpose.
All right, let's get even more precise now. To really maximize the benefits of all this, we need to think about not just what we're drinking, but also the temperature and the timing. So, the temperature dilemma. A lot of us love ice-cold water, but it can actually be a big shock to your internal organs. On the flip side, really hot water isn't great either. It can damage the delicate lining of your esophagus, and it actually forces your body to waste energy just cooling it down. So, where's the sweet spot? It's lukewarm water. Water that is close to your body's own temperature is the easiest for your system to absorb and use right away, without any extra work or any shock to the system. Now, if you only make one change after hearing all this, please make it this one. While you sleep, your body is working hard, repairing and cleaning house. And that process uses up a lot of water. We're talking up to a full liter. That very first glass of water in the morning rehydrates you, it flushes out toxins, and it kickstarts your metabolism for the entire day. It is non-negotiable. And finally, we absolutely need to cover some crucial safety information. Because while water is life, like anything, too much or the wrong approach can be harmful, especially for certain people. This is a pretty stark reminder of why we shouldn't chug water. For a 50-kilogram person, drinking 4.5 liters all at once can actually be fatal. Now, that's an extreme example, of course, but it really underscores the point. Moderation and pacing are absolutely critical. And if you have any of the conditions listed here, you must speak with your doctor before making any big changes to your water intake. For these conditions, fluid balance is a really delicate medical issue that needs a professional watching over it. For example, people with a history of an aneurysm have to drink very slowly to avoid any dangerous spikes in blood flow. So let's end on this thought. Your body gives you signals every single day, from that feeling of fatigue to a bit of brain fog. Listening to those signals and responding with something as simple as a properly consumed glass of water, well, that's a profound act of self-care. The water you drink today isn't just quenching your thirst, it's building your health for tomorrow.